like one of the greatest Dayton moments I ever experienced. I was riding my bike down North Main, and the Chicken Louie chicken was in the parking lot, and like these 4 fabulous women were like just all around the chicken, you know, like big earrings, like all just total decked out, got all kinds of jewelry, and just dancing, going, "Go chicken, go chicken," and the chicken was dancing. I just stumbled upon that. Like, that's what makes this city magic.
Yeah. Wow. Like just outside in the middle of the day, huh?
Oh, yeah, the chicken at Chicken Louie's.
Does anybody know what's going on down at that area of Main Street where they've basically flattened those few blocks around the highway? What do they plan on doing with that?
Plasma!
Yeah, there's a plasma TV.
Yeah, that's right. This is the second. And I know I got my mouth full of food, but that's what it's all about, eating dinner and just talking and being chill and talking real about subjects in Dayton. We've got Ryan Gelatin.
Hello.
From Dayton, Ohio. For how long? Like your whole life?
Oh, man. I grew up in Franklin, Ohio. Moved here about 18, 19, been here ever since.
Okay.
I'm 34 now.
Maria Holt, you are a resident of Huber Heights?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Been in the Dayton area for how long?
I've been here since '97.
Okay.
Yep.
And Rockwell, Patterson, South Park resident, the reigning philosopher king of the Dayton.
Hardly.
And so, what topics do we want to talk about town?
Was that still going? That's terrible. I know there's a lot of people making an effort.
Yeah, well,
and I've seen a couple like TechCon ads periodically pop up on television.
Is that where they have the big crane that grabs toys from the internet? Like you can control it. It's not Texas? That's what it was.
That would be great.
Like isn't that a
No, they had like some like giant big crane.
No, it's just like building. It's down by like just it's like east of Fifth Third Field, like a couple blocks over by.
I know where it is.
There's another white building over there that they're going to tear down and do some stuff with. And I saw that they were working on that this summer a little bit.
No,
it's an incubator for.
It's not making money. Should the city fund research and development ventures like this? Because right now it's like got 3 organizations and they're all grant affiliated.
No, they should give some CNC machines to people who do this kind of stuff in their garage. Because that's like they're trying to, say that this is a place for innovation, or a place for aviation, all these other things. Mm-hmm. Step ladder that pops up, and people who fumble with their fork. And but all those people did those things, with their own machine tools and came up with the ideas on their own.
It seems like,
and then marketed them, and did things with them. So, my dad always maintained that, if you couldn't get it built in Dayton, Ohio, it couldn't be built. And I think that's still true to some degree because there are a lot of retired machinists and machinists that are still in existence that still tinker with stuff. And there's plenty of welders, and there's plenty of people who understand that stuff from working in the automotive industry here.
That's true. Who are out of work.
But no, I think that money should go straight to Crown Plaza. And because I understand that the buffet needs some tweaking.
They gave Crown Plaza $250,000 last week as part of like a $3.5 million renovation. My numbers may not be correct, but it's approximately correct. Not a really necessary number to get the thing done. And what's going on in the city? Is it moral to be doing that?
Well, they got the convention center all.
But if it went down underneath, if all the stuff went under too, people would be like, "How could you let the middle hotel in the middle of town?" But it's fairly regular occurrence in that.
I don't know how much
government's giving private business.
Yeah,
money.
I personally don't think so. I was very upset last year when the City Commission and the Dayton School Board basically voted to give, is it the tax abatements for like 10 years.
15, I believe.
It could have been, but I remember thinking, wow.
Had something to do with the fact that they took over the NCR building.
I believe. No, I guess it was somewhere in Dayton. But I just remember thinking, okay, but you're saying that you're cash strapped, the schools are failing, and you're laying off teachers and getting rid of programs. You know, especially after Governor Kasich comes in and basically slashes education like no other governor has done in recent history. I thought it was a little immoral, you know, because, and then they have all these, to me, unconstitutional stoplight cameras all over the city that's charging mainly poor people $85 a ticket.
But those are there for safety. I'm joking.
No, I know. I would say no.
Well, that's what
it's all safety.
They're there for money.
Yeah, they're there for money. They're gouging us. They want us.
Yeah,
I guess
the regular people.
The
Yeah,
question
but then they give.
They say it's for safety. They say it's for safety, but would they do it if they weren't making money off of the fines?
Of course not.
If they said, okay, you ran the stoplight, you got to go help out at the community garden for 4 hours on Saturday. If you don't do that, then you got to pay us $80.
Right.
So no, that wouldn't be going down.
Right.
You know, this tech town and the entrepreneur club or whatever it's called,
Engineer club.
you know, like we have to move away. Dayton's not going to be manufacturing someday. It's got to be technology and all of this scientific stuff. But how many people can fill those positions? Not everyone is going to college to get these degrees. There are smart people here that can do that, but that's not going to revitalize our economy on the whole, because people not everyone can be IT, not everyone can be an engineer and all of this. We still need people that just have manual skills to do things, you know.
And opportunities.
And
opportunities that are like wide
that.
open. I think that's like the biggest.
And we don't have it.
Right.
No, and then we've got all these like idle people and social problems.
So how do we?
And that's why, like, say, Wayne and Xenia Avenue just looks like a post-apocalypse hillbilly explosion of like insanity. Where it's like you can't.
Man.
It does, yeah.
There are pockets of the east side that just look like
the hills have
they
eyes.
look like Charles Bukowski's novel has like swept through the wind and just delivered like hopelessness. Gummo. That wasn't even filmed in Xenia. Did you ever see that movie?
Mm-hmm. No.
Oh my God! This
it's scarier than Gummo. I mean, Gummo is kind of lighthearted fun compared to the shit that I've seen. Walking down
Gummo is like light
compared
to like some of the reality I've seen in the city.
Absolutely.
But there's huge juxtapositions, and then the biggest problem I see is with like the whole like city government business class is completely separate from the rest of Dayton.
They don't know who they're.
And they run the town.
There's a circle. They run the town, and then there's the heaving masses.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Outside of that circle,
Yeah.
You mean heaving by puking?
Well, I just say that like masses of people.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about Dayton.
I don't remember, but
Can you put graphic edge second?
Well, the thing is,
right there?
and I'm certainly no expert, but it seems like the city of Dayton, and probably most local governments of cities like this, it's so obvious that their best, like, all they care about is making money. They're really not interested in helping people.
That's true.
So, but what I find funny is when they do when they do the lip service. Like, they actually give a shit about the community.
Right.
And it's like, it's obvious. You're making all these decisions that show otherwise. So why don't you just come out and do that? We get it. It's all just a big business.
I don't know. I think the topper for like all these dollar stores and everything is that the city, like a couple months ago, gave Dollar General liquor license over here in Needmore. And it's like, that's just what everyone needs.
And you know
You're
what they were
poor.
gonna do? They were gonna give Walgreens right there at the corner of Philadelphia and Salem a liquor license, but the only reason why that stopped is because Good Samaritan, the corporation, objected to it.
Yeah, well, that's another subject. Is that you think kind of predatory businesses that exist in the city
It's ridiculous.
would ever go anywhere else?
No, they're not in the suburbs. I've said that for years. I would go to Detroit and literally, visit family, and I'm like, wait a minute, a liquor store There's a gun store, another liquor store, and I'm just like, really? Like, how many liquor stores can be on one strip?
Porn shop, church supply, porn shop. That's
bar.
actually made national photograph. It's like
Time magazine.
That's pretty funny.
Dayton is like the most apathetic city, at least in Ohio. I can't say the country.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I talked to a lady from Cleveland.
I'd rather not talk about it.
You don't even want to talk about it.
It's like the grandma that you keep up in the guest bedroom that you just don't talk about.
It's a disease in Dayton. I mean,
it is. I mean, we could see that in the last city commission race.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
we've stopped going to the city commission meetings because, even the good stuff we get from there, unless it was like something really controversial that involved something outside of like city commission, someone to come, a complaint. The most popular one video of city commission history that we did was the guy saying, "You got to catch that panther. You got to catch that panther now."
If nobody cares what the city's doing.
Well, Panther's still in the loose. I want to make that abundantly clear.
Dayton elected Kasich.
mm-hmm. Of course. Yeah, I saw that. I could not believe it. Well, that's because a lot of people stayed home.
Dayton is like the once prom queen that is now the waitress at Denny's with like 4 kids and hepatitis. And all she keeps talking about is the prom queen days, which would be like the Wright brothers days, basically. It was like, we invented flying. What are you doing now?
Oh,
we invented talking about flight.
Yeah,
we invented talking about
I like that.
Flight. Exactly. We invented like an industry to memorialize.
This theme of anachronism keeps coming up. This like reactionary, let's stay in the same place, let's do the same things, let's try to get back to what we were. Mm-hmm. And there isn't any like
there's no going back. No one's willing to admit that in the
ever. Past us a lot.
Any kind of local anything. There is no going back.
Yeah. Well, why do you think people are so apathetic? I mean, particularly here in Dayton.
Who cares?
I mean,
Dayton's kind of a hopeless place. I mean, I think it certainly has a hopeless feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Just
a lot
in
of parts
general.
of the city do.
Yeah. It certainly has this, wherever you wander to, it's kind of like, this is it. This is kind of a disappointment place to live at.
mm-hmm.
I think maybe you should go to Detroit and interview them about Dayton. Mm-hmm. And say, like, really, we want to know what happens next. Because, I mean, I assume Detroit's like the first big city to fail.
Right.
I mean, to some degree, it's the first big city. Obviously, small towns have failed on the notion that people have moved to the big city, and the farmer community is dried up because of that.
Sucked in by the township.
Local retail is dried up from that, and then, and the rest of it's bought out by one guy, whatever.
I mean, it's extremely complicated. I mean, there's many factors that make Dayton the way it is, and I don't think it's all that bad. Like,
there's a lot of worse big cities.
Oh, yeah. It's just...
You ever heard it called the Seattle of the Midwest?
No.
I heard it called that...
Because there's a level of intellectualism here that doesn't necessarily exist in other places.
Oh, is there?
Well, in some small pockets.
There's a lot of...
I thought you meant
there are 2 really pretentious coffee shops in downtown now. Press is being recognized nationally as a coffee shop.
But there's a huge
colleges and universities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's that was like the thing about like living in Miamisburg. You'd have like all these kind of raggedy kids from down the river bottom next to like scientist kids who their dad was like working on like a space laser to fry everyone.
I mean, that's the same thing. That's the same experience. That's the same experience I had when I hung out in Miamisburg. I mean, because I was hanging out with
really
East
weird.
Side kids.
That wasn't even filmed in Xenia. You ever see that movie? No. Oh my God! This
it's scarier than Gummo. I mean, Gummo is kind of lighthearted fun compared to the shit that I've seen. Just walking down like that.
It's like light compared to like some of the reality I've seen in the city.
Absolutely.
But there's huge juxtapositions, and then the biggest problem I see is with like the whole city government business class is completely separate from the rest of Dayton.
They don't know who they're.
There's a circle.
And they run the town.
There's a circle. They run the town, and then there's the heaving masses.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Outside of that circle.
You mean heaving by puking?
You know,
well, I just say that, but you know, masses of people.
A really good example of that is when the city of Dayton voted to start like putting panhandlers in jail.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. They did that.
It's because we're out of problems
ago.
here.
And then
more problems.
last year they went like into the city, like on the west side. You know, you can't be in the median anymore. And then it ended up getting scrapped because there's no room in the jails for them. Like, why are you arresting people? I mean, at least they're not robbing people and kicking in doors. I mean, they're just standing there.
Yeah. Right then.
Yeah.
Some of those guys are criminals, but no.
Well, yeah, but to go after the panhandlers is really just saying that, we don't have any other problems that are more important than this to address right now, so we're going to focus all our attention on panhandlers.
Yeah, well, some of the panhandlers certainly didn't get any kind of like sympathy from anybody because there are guys like sitting out with cell phones and Air Jordans, panhandling over on Wayne and Kiwi. I've seen them before.
Yeah,
that Wayne and Kiwi spot is.
See, I don't spend a lot of time on the east side. I
People fight over
that spot.
They fight. Minnie goes there and picks up gas to go to work, and she's like, they're fighting over that spot again. Like, she's told me that 3 or 4 times. She's like, they'll throw their 40s at each other.
But the interesting thing is, because I'm a student at Wright State, I see panhandlers in Beaver Creek.
Oh yeah, Beaver Creek's having the freak out now.
Yeah, and their whole thing is, they're from Dayton. And I'm like, no, they were there before they passed that law. I mean, I've been at Wright State for a couple of years now, and I just see them standing out there, you know.
There's lots of traffic.
Trying to get tuition.
Oh, yeah. But, Beaver Creek's experiencing some of the same problems that Dayton has experienced with down to, they're experiencing copper thievery.
Oh, yeah.
And in Beaver Creek and, all that,
That poor house across the street.
Well, I read about rising poverty in America.
Yeah, suburbs is where poverty is rising the most in America.
The answer is for people, the top 400 people. To me, I just think is absurd that if there's 400 people in this nation that own and control all the wealth for the bottom 150 million people. I think that's like that's a problem. That's a huge problem, but nobody wants to talk about it. People want to ignore it.
Yeah, people want to
and say that they earned. No, they didn't. A lot of times they're stealing their way to the top. Just like the CEOs.
You can't really earn that much.
What they did is they set up channels of income that enabled that income to flow to them. And then they just figured out how to widen the banks on that flow. That's what they did. They just toyed with it for longer periods of time.
There's laws set up to help them do that too, though. And then there's the absence of laws.
Exactly. But what they did was, the numbers just came out. They're the top. What is it? The top. I can't remember what number it is. The top certain number of companies. I want to say it's the dirty 20 or whatever they call it. But those companies made 100. I think they call it the dirty 20 because they paid zero in taxes.
Exactly.
Right. They made $118 billion together.
But why did they pay zero in taxes?
Because they didn't just because they didn't just get $118 billion. And my numbers could be slightly off, but they're right around. They're within $10 billion.
They earned every billion,
which is close. They paid $475 million in, so $500 million in lobby money for a return of 90 whatever it is billion. I mean, it's insane because they not only that, but they got $108 billion in tax, benefits, write-offs, and things like that. So it was like, they basically essentially said, if we spend $500 million here, we can get another $18 billion in profit out of our taxes. It was the numbers are frightening.
Sure.
And GE is one of them. And there's a couple other companies that are just
$26 billion
sort of surprising.
Any taxes.
No taxes whatsoever.
And that's what pissed me off so much about Dayton giving them tax abatements for 10 or 15 years. They didn't pay any taxes. They can afford to operate a business and pay taxes in the city of Dayton for the schools. I mean,
right, because they have accountants that can show that they're shaky on the numbers. But this is what happens everywhere. It's what happens everywhere. You go back to
in the U.S.
Yeah, it's not uniquely Dayton.
No, it happens all over the world. I mean, this is what happened in Greece.
Well, not in Sweden.
Greece was given. Sweden is a little bit different.
You're right.
But
Greece, in Norway and the Norwegian country. So,
well, and I mean, particularly like Iceland these days because they're arresting bankers. Like
and we don't see that on our mainstream. They don't want us to see.
No, it's blacked out. Like they don't want to talk about.
Yeah, they don't want us to get any ideas.
Because they're gonna open up the debtors' prison and figure out how to put us all in jail. Make
I did hear about that comeback actually.
I don't know. I hope not. No, they've already arrested some people. They're not for actually being in debt, but they get summons to court and they don't take it seriously because they're like, I can't afford to do anything, so why should I go to court and tell them that? So then they miss court and then they get arrested for missing court.
No, really.
Yeah. So kind of like deadly gas sort of stuff.
I think they're Gary Lightsell so far.
I don't know what he's doing. I don't know. He's working on his house.
Well, pretty much our mayor doesn't really do anything except go to places and shake hands.
I was going to say Dayton doesn't have the way it's set up. Doesn't have a strong mayor.
No.
So he
does like to talk about alcohol on Facebook a lot.
He's a figure.
Does he?
Yeah, well, we're having drinks here. This is a good drink tonight.
Gin gimlets or something like that.
I don't know what it is.
A gin martini.
Sure, like there's a mayor of a really depressed city, and you're talking about what you're drinking.
Well, perhaps
maybe he needs to. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe Dayton needs a drink.
Yeah. Where's Paul Leonard?
I don't think
Where's
Dayton
Paul
needs a
Leonard
drink.
when we need him?
I think Dayton needs a lot of drinks.
I read today that 78,000 people.
There's a correlation
live in a
between
food
violent
desert.
crime and the economy.
Absolutely.
Sure. So, and obviously we know that in the African American community at least, that if there's an economic crisis, 9 times out of 10, African Americans are suffering more than the rest of the country. I mean, look at the unemployment numbers.
Once that desperation starts creeping in, it just makes
it ramps up your desire to acquire.
Well,
in whatever
either
fashion.
that or just kind of brings about some irrational thought.
And I think it goes back to what you said before about the hopeless feeling. You drive through these neighborhoods in Dayton.
I was going to say, you guys were talking about the east side. There's places on the west side. I was like, you go down some of these streets and you're like, what is it, that movie, The Legend or something like that, where Will Smith did it? I Am Legend. I mean, it's like that.
Exactly. And how are those kids that grow up there, how are they supposed to have hope?
Yeah.
They're like, this is where I live.
And the schools look like prisons.
They don't know that it's affecting them.
Have you looked at these new schools in Dayton?
Prisons.
Yeah. They look like juvenile facilities to me. Who thought to design these? Who approved the design? I mean, I just thought
somebody's
that was
getting
ridiculous.
paid. It's not.
Look at. I mean, they call it. What do they call them on the national?
The citizens voted for.
They voted for new schools, but not the designs. I mean, they voted to pay out more tax money to build the new schools. That's what they voted for. I remember that.
They call them
about 10 years ago.
There was a guy who did that study called them failure factories, or
I looked at that study.
One of them was Belmont. Have you been driven by Belmont?
Mm-hmm.
There's a multi-million-dollar facility up there, right next to the police station.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like right next to the police station. It's like 5 cops get to just go work there for the rest of their life. I was in the door and work in security in the hallways for the rest of their life. I mean, because they're right next to the police station. When you're off duty, you can just go pick up some.
Well, the new high school makes the police station now look like a shanty. So they gotta. I'm looking at them like, come on, boys.
You know what's right behind that school? A triple max insane asylum.
Oh, that's right.
Well,
so you've got here's the.
You're talking about Insane Wayne.
Dayton has tons of drugs.
That place is closed now.
It's surrounded by people who bought comes in the city.
There's a middle hospital, but there's a triple max middle hospital.
I mean, 675, 70.
The money sits in the suburbs, and there's probably a lot more. Not probably. Statistics have shown people in suburban communities. Wider communities use drugs a lot more.
I was going to bring that up. Michelle Alexander brings that up. That point home very good in her new book, The New Jim Crow. Yeah. And she talks about how there is, when you look at studies, there is no great gap between, who's selling drugs and, actually who's using drugs, because actually more white people use drugs, and they're about the same correlation for selling of drugs, but when you look at who's actually in prison for drugs, 90% are African American and Latino men.
Right.
Only 10% are white.
Well, I'd take this as third-party hearsay, but I had a friend who used to travel in some fairly illicit circles, and he told me that he was hanging out at this dude's house who was a fairly big shot dealer or something like that, and he said that there were these Oakwood girls that were like walking around serving them drinks in barely any clothes to like score their coke. So they
Where's
could
this
take it
again?
back to Oakwood. Yeah, exactly.
I'll
give you the
So a couple of all
It's an
that.
after hours club. They get another right people.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there was a student in a... Yeah.
Yes. I want to go and stop them right away,
Yeah.
over and over again.
There was a student in my juvenile, sociological juvenile justice class this summer, and she was from Centerville, and you know, we talked about, you know, crime rates, what kind of kids are getting locked up and so forth, and she just openly admitted in class, like, oh yeah, we drink, you know, we use drugs, we have parties, we do this. A lot of times the cops will just come and say, just keep it down and leave. You know, because the parents are out of town on business or what have you, and, you know, half the high school's over to maybe Sarah's house, I don't remember the girl's name, and, you know, they're all getting high and getting drunk, and, you know, the cops will just say, come by, you know, and say,
As long
keep
as
it
nobody's
down
killing
and
each
then
other,
leave.
it's okay.
You know.
Well, that's the future of their business. The cops don't want to ruin that stuff early on because they're going to have to be like getting paid to arrest them later. That's like
Our future DUIs.
they're in the veal calf pens right now, like, learning how to do that stuff that they need to, you know, generate revenue and collars later. It's a feeder system for the police department. That's
Well, yeah.
Never thought about that.
So combine like the drugs, the ridiculous like male image in America that men are supposed to live up to.
You gotta be fucking tough, man.
Yeah,
You gotta thug it up.
be a tough ass.
That's one thing about Dayton that I
think you
noticed.
just have to know
Oh,
how to
I'm
do it.
sorry.
Yeah, no, you're no.
Like,
I agree with what you're
I don't
saying.
get out of Dayton. Like, I focus on Dayton because that's where I live. But I see a lot of just dudes who gotta act like they're hard asses
Right,
all the time.
God, they're
It's like, are you not a real person?
Yeah.
What, really? Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Like just dudes like if I'm going into a store or something and I got somebody following me, I'll hold a door open or something. And you just get kind of you know, like not even a thank you or just like what's up, you know, just like you know, or just like that's just one example.
Yeah, it's a tough guys, Jason Katz. Did a documentary about that, and it's damaging for our country. It's damaging for every person. It hurts women. It hurts men because it promotes violence.
Well, you see, I came
And
up in
aggression.
the military-industrial high school football complex, you know, and that's what it is. You know, we watch. Everybody's talking about football, but you know, guys are beating the hell out of each other, and
Yeah.
They're the new gladiators.
yeah, they're
Pretty
like
much.
they're our faux warriors.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But these are the same dudes who can't take care of a kid.
Well, you know,
Right.
if you can.
Wait, you're talking about integrity? I mean,
Well, I know. I don't know. I just think you know if you can
talking about
if
speaking
you're
of acronyms,
you know a huge tough guy.
Right. If you're a man, man takes care of this kid.
It's just an image, though. I mean, it's you know, I don't know, make you think a certain way. They're really
Yeah, but
soft on the
it's
inside.
hurtful. It's you know, creates obstacles.
You look at the guys now. I mean, if you take like the GI Joes from like the 70s, and then like the GI Joes / like kids' toys now,
Whatever.
they look like they're like completely on roids.
Oh, yeah.
Like men,
You know, and now it's
can
no
blame
longer
He-Man for
boxing.
that.
You know, it used to be like boxing. You'd be like, boxing is an art. You know, like there's the jab and the combos. and
Now we
blah,
have the
blah, blah.
ultimate fighting
Yeah,
where it's
we
like
got, like,
anything goes, it's
yeah,
eye gouging and biting.
men
It's
don't
just
know
like,
how to be well-rounded at all.
That's true. They're not taught how.
Yeah.
No, they're taught. Yeah,
I've been working on
they're just
that for
taught look as bad as possible, pretty much be as rude as possible,
Exactly. Yeah. Be a dick.
and then impregnate everyone you see, male or female.
he
You
won
know,
some
we should
award.
do. You know, we should end this up with us watching William Pace's.
Oh God, no!
Oh my God!
Oh my God! You
Oh
are.
my God! He's running
wrecked.
for county commission now, right?
He's running for county commission
Yeah.
now.
Oh
God,
no,
you're kidding me.
Mister! I go to 700
apparently,
meetings a
my
year.
understanding is his hair is running for city commission, and he's running for county commission.
Hair. Well,
His hair has actually been endorsed specifically by Al Sharpton.
His hair's not.
Late 80s.
It was like 92 or so.
Okay.
93.
I think the Golden Girls. Go William Pace.
I'm going to make an effort not to laugh.
There we go.
Good luck.
Mr. William Pace with the group Springwater. You guys take it away.
That smile has been fantastic. And that dude back there with the shades playing
The hair, the feather.
that could be all our dads. Who knows who that guy is? Fuck yes, this is awesome. So good. All right, I'm voting. I'm voting for him. Got it.
Oh, wow. Watch how he snaps to the smile. Where is he? Watch how he snaps to the smile.
Wow.
I love the band.
Yeah,
The band, they all have like man Farrah Fawcett parodies.
He's got a pocket coat of some sort.
I love it when they cut away to the woman who's the other guest and she's trying not to laugh.
the backup singer.
Yeah.
Is she holding the table?
Oh, the old lady.
I know, she's like,
She's having a stroke.
I don't know what that has to do with me.
She's got the eye.
Oh, I got just like licked her lizard lips.
I'm somehow it has not changed.
I think I made it spit. I don't know if I did that or not.
Oh my god.
That hair is awesome, though.
Yeah.
I can't hear it. It's so funny.
This is why Dayton is amazing. It's because I've lived here for.
Is he from Dayton?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've never heard of this dude until like the past week.
I love the snap to the smile.
Right.
Such good, such professional.
There is a documentary, like, it's totally,
totally. His show needs to come back on DATV or whatever it was, cable access. It was awesome.
Or there could be another show called, like, William Pace Owes Me Money.
Get Snake up here. Bounty, or whatever, dog bounty.
It's like, who knew the song was almost 4 minutes long, too?
That's long for that day.
I love that they keep going back to this old
I want to
lady.
see Jim Booker's face. That's his face.
That's true. No, they don't.
Are those Ferrari folding sunglasses?
Oh, the guy in the back.
Yeah, nice zipper head.
Yeah, look at his mustache.
Blue blockers on.
This is like one of those, like, say no to drugs bands that were, like, bands by all cops.
Oh, and the Coppers. The Coppers played in high school back in the day, and they were fucking horrible.
That's what I'm guessing. This is like one of those like, cop bands that played at Hustle and Dystrophy, like, festivals.
Oh, yeah. You know what? That makes sense. They're totally all cops. You can tell they're all cops.
Is there a keyboardist?
This guy's smiling.
He's all proud.
Good. Thank you, William and guys.
What is that? Are those Japanese?
This is a multi-flag.
Now we have another treat.
Where are these people?
They're in some weird parking lot.
From this band to this band to this band.
Is this for Channel 2? Is this for Channel 2?
Yeah, I think he is.
We spared no expense.
Isn't that great?
Like cable access stuff.
Isn't that, like, that's amazing. I think that's amazing.
Thank you for watching. If I'm in the picture right now.
Yes, you are.
And anyone else have anything else to say?
No, thank you for having me. And it's great food and great conversation.
Great conversation for sure.
Would you like to gratuitously promote anything?
No.
I already did. Mine are all embedded in the talk.
Okay. All right.
Bye-bye.
Close out with the William Pace singing.